Hey, what's going on, everybody? This is episode 15 of the SANE Show, the show about nothing and everything. Got the homie, old friend. We go way back.
Way back. Like do-rags and wave caps.
Eric, a.k.a. Eli. A lot of you probably know him by Eli at this point. He's pretty much branded himself with that. What's going on, man?
What's going on, man? What's going on? We made it. We did it.
Did we? I'm so happy to finally be back up and running. It's just so funny, like with all the technical difficulties. I know some people who gave me a hard time as far as like not having gone live or done any recordings.
Nah, y'all good, man. You got new equipment. You know what I'm saying? We in the game.
Yo,
I got to see it get set up.
When that happened, I just put everything on hold. Like, just shut the whole thing down.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, what's in place is what's in place, and everything else is just gonna have to wait until I get this new mixer. So got the Yamaha. So what's up, Coach Styles? He just joined us live. So today we're gonna talk about mental health,
race.
And no, don't.
Okay,
Don't,
all right.
And then
All
we're always going to have the trending topic, and then after that, we're going to let the listeners get to learn a little bit about you, your music, and what you got going on. So
sounds good.
Let's go ahead and kick it off.
Let's do
mental health.
So
I know when I initially reached out to you about having you on the SANE Show,
right?
That was something. Pretty much these topics came from you. I'm always happy when people have topics to offer versus me, because it just makes me feel a little selfish when I come up with the topics, and you doing that, I feel like you're a little bit more included. So with mental health, I know it's a big topic of the conversation now.
It's a heavy topic of discussion lately, I think. Yeah.
So what prompted you? And before we even get into it, because just knowing you and seeing you on social media and you using your voice, your platform, you're pretty much like an advocate now as far as for advocating for those going through mental health issues. And,
definitely.
Being oppressed by things like racism. We'll touch on that later. But let's, so with you and mental health, tell me about that.
Yeah. So I think I don't really remember where it started, where I was talking about the importance of taking care of one's mentality, but it kind of came to the forefront of my mind, I think, like last year, middle of last year or so. I lost my job that I had at the time. I went through a rough breakup. On top of that, I had a couple, and that's wild to say, a couple people passed that were close to me. Added on to the fact that for most of my life, a lot of my friends have dealt with like suicide, with suicidal tendencies and ideology, with depression. So it's something, for me, commenting on mental health or being able to talk about your problems was always something that it was just easy for me. And I definitely, I started noticing there's a lot of invisibility when it comes to mental health in the Black community, especially with Black men. I think that we're kind of conditioned to react a certain way to things or to not talk about things. Well, I'll say with Black people, period, because I only have ever like dated or interacted with Black women. Black women raised me, you know what I'm saying? And those are some of the strongest people I've met, Black women, and seeing what they go through on a daily basis from us, you know what I'm saying? Like from other men, from work, from their job, from kids, like whatever, you know what I'm saying? So in the Black community, I think that invisibility of mental health issues is something that I always wanted to address. So I started doing it on Facebook, but not before taking care of myself first. I got into therapy. I got into talk therapy. I got into music therapy. I got into physical therapy. And I started really educating myself on things because I didn't want to be sitting around and thinking about, my friends who have killed themselves all the time. I didn't want to go through that type of stuff every day. I didn't want to sit around and compare myself to other people.
Right.
I didn't want to sit around and be chasing after other people that didn't really want to be around me, period.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? I wanted to be able to create a space for myself. And now what I try to do online when it pertaining to mental health is I try and create a space where other people feel safe enough to talk. Even if you see me out, I'm always a very touchy-feely person, period, but very like hugs, you know what I'm saying? Like I hug my male friends, you know what I'm saying? I call and check in on them to see how they're doing. I've cried with them before, things like that. I have no issues talking about that. I got a lot of gangster friends too, you know what I'm saying? But at the same time, but even that, I just feel like it's more important to talk about it than than to kind of try and bury that stuff.
Yeah.
So first and foremost, I think even sometimes it's even more important than doing music or going out or being seen for me is to make sure that I have a space for myself where I can not only create, but where I can decompress and I can be better so that when I go out to the SANE Show, I'm not having a panic attack in the fucking car before I go. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. It's a heavy thing, but it's a thing that I think people should recognize and, you know.
Yeah, I definitely understand that. And, you know, it's interesting that we're talking about this in our little Target run. Looking for some equipment. Yeah, Targetto or something. Depending on which one you go to.
Yeah, exactly.
But it's interesting we're talking about this, especially, you know, just having, you know, some of the people in my circle and, you know, some of the friends that have opened up to me recently about, you know, some of their struggles that they have gone through and, you know, having bottled them up. And, you know, some people even to me like, hey, I always say I'm fortunate that I can be a person that people can confide in with those kinds of things, with whatever issues that they're having.
Yeah.
And to be entrusted not to share with anybody else. But it says a lot to me when people come to you and because they trust you, and then it's like, hey, like, yo, keep this on the low. Like, this is, and I always tell them, we all go through this at some point.
Right.
I have my own struggles as well.
Yeah.
It may not be as bad as the next person, but I too deal with it.
Yeah.
From the pressures that society places on us and having to deal with, you know, things that we have to deal with on a daily basis.
Yeah, I don't think there's a single person in the world who wakes up every day on 100% ready to tackle the day and whoop some ass, you know what I mean? Yeah. I don't think that's a thing, but I do know that you'd be surprised who goes through it. You know what I'm saying? Like, you definitely be surprised, especially when I started talking about it openly on social media platforms, which I figured that was actually like kind of a personal hurdle that I wanted to get over from suggested from my therapist. She didn't really say it in the sense of, shout out to my therapist, she's a black woman, but she didn't really say it in the sense of you should get on social media and talk about your problems, but she did say you should try expressing yourself instead of just being like, you know, oh, the funny dude, and then kind of retreating back home where you can kind of get away and escape. So, yeah, I started talking about it. I remember when I first started talking about it, people really didn't receive it too well. They didn't, you know what I'm saying, get into it as well. No one was telling me you shouldn't talk about these things, but they weren't exactly like, oh, good on you for talking about it. And then I think one status I put up, you know, I think I admitted to missing my friend Marcus, who had taken his life a few years back, and someone who knew him, but I wasn't as close with that person. They reached out to me and they're like, you know, I miss him like every day.
Yeah.
And it was someone who I would not have expected to feel that way. I think we create a lot and we kind of like mythologize people a lot. Like we compare ourselves to other people so much that we forget that these people that we go to work with or these people that we look up to or these mentors that we have, they go through a lot of the same shit that we go through. You know what I'm saying? They don't wake up with all the answers every day. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So I kind of try to keep that human aspect in it when I talk about it.
Now, I'll tell you what's interesting, because you talk about, you mentioned, like, we're surprised people that go through it. And, you know, you look at people like, you know, Robin Williams, Anthony Bourdain,
exactly,
all these famous people. And to an extent, I can understand, because when you are, especially when you have a certain level of success and people look at you, and you know, I tell people this all the time, when you obtain when you're successful to a certain point, you have different problems that everyday people won't be able to relate to.
True. Yeah.
And you have your own, you know, we hear people like Jay-Z and Beyonce talk about their struggles. Kanye has his struggles as well, even though he's going off the rip very badly. But it's like he has problems that the everyday person cannot relate to.
Sure, yeah.
And so when you get in that position, it's like, who can you talk to? Because nobody really knows or understands what I'm going through.
I think that's why, especially in any type, because I mean, you know, in any type of career where you're pursuing your dreams or anything, it's important to lay a foundation down early, you know, emotionally and mentally, so that when you get to a point where, you know, you might be in you might be a public figure or something like that, you always have a support system or a group, or it doesn't have to be people all the time. It could be a thing that you do. You know what I mean? damn, I feel foolish now because I don't remember the actor. But one of my favorite actors, and I have a lot of favorite actors, but one of them kind of had talked about how she every like Saturday just takes time and goes to this park that's near her house and just turns her phone off. You know what I'm saying? I have an associate who put like locks on his social media accounts. And gave the passwords to his wife, and then she forgot the passwords. So he only can be on social media really for like 2 hours a day, and then he's done for the whole day. And he says that forgetting the passwords was probably the best thing that could happen to him, because now he's not trying to keep up and compare himself to everybody else that's, you know what I'm saying, like, oh, what are they doing? What are they doing?
Yeah.
I'm throwing an event. Are they doing it? You know what I'm saying? So I think that we just get kind of caught up in stuff like that. And there are people that, you know, I think of Robin Williams or Anthony Bourdain. It's not always clinical depression or anything, but, you know, you might wake up one day and be like, you know, man, I don't know if I want to keep trying to do these, you know, these events. I don't know if I want to keep going to work. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? So everyone deals with it on a different level, but everybody deals with it. Yeah. And you're foolish to say you don't. You know what I'm saying? Like, you're hurting yourself by saying that you don't.
That's very true. That's very true. That, man, that's a topic we can go on for days about. I swear. Like, I'm sitting here looking at the recording time. I'm like, yo, we can do half a recording for this one. So we're gonna end it there. So let's go ahead and get to the trending topic.
Let's do it.
Brought to you by What's Trending.
Trending?
I didn't pick this one, guys. You're a big deal of help. You just don't know.
I picked it.
I've been on the road all day and just got back in town with some new equipment. Had to figure out how it all worked.
I picked it. I picked the trending topic. I know it's All-Star Weekend. I know we got a lot of stuff going on. This is important to me.
So our trending topic, you know what? Why don't you go ahead and introduce it?
The trending topic is Detective Pikachu, the movie. Detective motherfucking Pikachu. Your childhood is coming back to you in the form of... what's his name? What's the dude that played Deadpool? Ryan Reynolds.
Ryan Reynolds.
Yeah, Ryan Reynolds is Pikachu.
So, I actually saw the preview when I went to go see the Brawly movie, Dragon Ball Super Brawly movie.
Okay, so he was animated out, like.
Yeah, but here's the thing. It was interesting because I saw like all the little teaser posts on like Facebook. You know, I thought these were jokes because you know how people
love to do it. Right. Photoshop is accessible now. People be like, I'm gonna fuck them up.
I'm like, you know how they try to take these animated shows and they try to make them look real. What Pikachu look like in real life? Okay, here we got it.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm sure they actually done that a few times with the Pokemon.
Yeah.
And so I'm just like, oh, this is one of those.
There's always some like nightmare type.
Right. It's like, oh, this is what Pikachu would look like in real life. And then I go to the movies and it's like,
oh, they got a full live movie with your boy from The Get Down. Ryan Reynolds is Pikachu. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's really like on some your childhood is coming back to haunt you type shit. It's really
in a Dr. Dolittle way too.
In a Dr. Dolittle way. He's talking. Pikachu's talking.
And he's the only one that can talk to Pokemon. It cracked me up in that one part they showed in the trailer. He's like, yo, like talk to them like you don't understand what he said. The Pika.
Yeah. She's like, oh yeah, he's so cute. But you know what's crazy is like when I was a kid, I used to always want to be able to like talk to my dogs.
Yeah.
And I couldn't obviously do it. And I would always think like, I know there's a kid out there somewhere that can talk to his fucking dogs, and I hate that kid. Like that was the number one thing. And then I remember watching Pokemon growing up, and I think in the cartoon, like Ash, the main character, he can understand the Pikachu. We can't understand. We just hear the little Pika, like. Right. But he could always understand what it was saying. So I was like, okay, that's basically what they're doing. But no, I think it looks dope. I'm gonna go see it because I'm a nerd. Like I'm really into that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like I really love that stuff. But I'm gonna check it out real quick. You know what I'm saying? There's other movies I'm definitely excited for. Us is coming out. You know, I gotta see that.
Us.
So that's from Jordan Peele.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry.
The Us movie. I knew you knew it. It's
yeah. You said Jordan Peele. Oh yeah, because the trailer is fresh in my mind.
Yeah, but so it's like that. It's like, but I'm just as excited for Us as I am for Detective Pikachu. You know what I'm saying? So very excited for that. Yeah, it looks wild though. Like the CGI. I'm glad that we're 20 somethings and getting it, and not like when we were younger, and they would have to get some
Right.
weird, freaky animatronic puppets and give us nightmares.
Like they did with Yoda in the original Star Wars trilogy.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? That Yoda kind of freaked me out when I was a kid. I remember, and E.T. too. All those little puppets used to freak me out.
Yeah.
Hell no.
That was weird.
Yeah, the trending topic is Detective Pikachu because it's All-Star Weekend. His trailer just dropped. Really, he's the biggest star. I know MJ's in the city right now. Whatever.
Man, I got some choice words for MJ. To be honest with you, I mean now we're talking. That's another conversation.
I feel like this all ties into race and mental
it
health.
Does,
and
I'm trying to figure out. We could tie mental health into the effect of Jordans not having Jordans and how that makes people feel. And, how it all a trickle effect.
And back on the mental health thing, I think that really like you were saying, that really all just kind of like connects together. It
does.
Social media, like rat race, along with like this age of information that we're experiencing. Age of information. That was kind of Kanye-ish of me to say, but it's important. So to fix your mental health, go and see Detective Pikachu when it comes out.
So now you gotta
May 10th.
So mark your calendars, May 10th. I should get some advertising dollars for this, helping push this whole Detective Pikachu.
Yeah, I'm trying to get you a sponsorship. You know what I mean? Pika.
So that is our trending topic, brought to you by What's Trending. Go check them out on Twitter, Instagram. They got a website. They're on Facebook too. There's always something interesting on there. You might find something outside of what we feature on the show. So again, go check out What's Trending. So let's go ahead and get to our next topic, race.
Race.
I've been talking to everybody that listens to this. I've been talking to them about this. Like, we're gonna be talking about race. Like, it's about to get real. Like, it's gonna be real. And no matter what it is, like, whenever race really is a topic of discussion, it's always interesting because everybody's like,
it's the elephant in the room for
sure.
It
is, and everyone's on the edge of their seats. And I just think we're in an interesting time too, especially as we were talking about earlier as well. Jesse Smollett. And for those who aren't familiar with him, that's a guy from Empire who was allegedly attacked by two assailants that I don't even know the details anymore. I'm not even sure about it. I don't know.
Apparently they jumped on him and they tried to lynch him.
Right.
Out here.
Yeah, and then reports that they were white, reports that they're black from Nigeria now. So I don't know.
Ever-changing information there,
right. And with that, I don't know what to believe anymore. And then what I just came across today, Monique was on Steve Harvey and challenging Steve Harvey about integrity. Yeah. And pretty much, this whole thing about Ant said that Jesse staged the fight.
Oh no!
I'm not mad at you. He staged the fight.
Well, he gonna beat himself up.
Right.
No, this will fuck him up. Tune into Empire.
And basically, how I took that with the whole Monique and Steve Harvey thing was basically how I took it as Steve Harvey sold his soul to earn the amount of to amass the kind of wealth that he now has and fame. And
I don't think I think people like that don't really have a problem admitting it either. And once again, that goes, here you have Monique, who really hasn't been like making any major waves in the entertainment industry as far as movies or TV shows or anything like that in a few years.
So we're gonna break it down. Let's start with Jussie.
Yeah, let's do that.
So I totally understand here's my issue. Okay, if it is staged, and I've been listening to Joe Budden talk about this. Shout out to the Joe Budden podcast, a fan of theirs. And my thing is, if it was staged, that kind of stuff hurts the cause, in my opinion.
Yeah,
to an extent.
No, I don't think it does.
Because it allows people to come out. It allows people that are the opposition to come out and say this. You guys cry about this, that, the third, but then you stage things like this to trick people into thinking, quote unquote, fake news. You are actually being oppressed, and that that kind of stuff.
And non-black people and non-POC will usually equate racism, like their bar is set at like hangings and lynchings and beatings. Yeah. And if that's not happening, then you're not experiencing racism. Right. If you experience like a microaggression somewhere, You know what I'm saying? That's not racism because they've been to that same restaurant and they didn't experience anything wrong.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, if it was staged, that's a terrible thing. If it wasn't, that's even worse. I'm going to go off the narrative that it wasn't because it's possible that stuff like that can happen. You know, you have Anaheim, California just recently was like a war zone. You know what I'm saying? Like Trayvon Martin was killed for being black. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like, so these things are happening. And even if there's one isolated incident where it was staged or one isolated incident where it was embellished, you still have, that's like just a tiny little nucleus in a giant, like, you know what I'm saying, pool of super aggression towards black people, black women, people of color, Muslim people, you know what I'm saying, like people of different faiths. It's disheartening, and for people to be out here like, it's staged or whatever.
But for some people, when they find out that it's staged, it's like, okay, we can discount
they can't
all
wait.
of
Yeah,
it.
they're gonna totally invalidate every other you know what I'm saying, racially charged experience that's ever happened, and that's definitely what would happen if we find out that.
Because here's the thing, and this is why I have an issue with it, because when it comes to in a lot of cases, when it comes to the black community, when one black person messes up,
they definitely attribute it to all of us.
Right. But then you got cases like Liam Neeson.
Yeah.
For those of you that don't know, like Liam Neeson had a situation going on, was on the hunt for a black man, basically.
Liam can pull up on me anytime. This is not Hollywood. I do not care about his taking ass. I will hit him with a particular set of skills.
But it's like with Liam Neeson, like we're in the age of cancel culture.
Sure,
so he's canceled now. But to the Jessica Biels, Angelina Jolies, and all them other people in Hollywood, they're good. As well as all the other white people we love. They're all good.
They'll be fine.
He's just one of the ones we don't care about and we don't want nothing to do with anymore.
Yeah, and then at the same time, like if another Taken movie comes out, I know a whole lot of black folk that's gonna go see it. You know what I mean? Like, so like.
Same thing with like the whole Gucci thing. Like you still got our people. They
Floyd out here being ridiculous. You know what I'm saying? Like intentionally.
Yeah.
So I think that at that point, another important point when it comes to race is that it's important to, and this is important in the black community too, is to separate. All black people are different. We all share a lot of the same experiences culturally. I know that you've been pulled over because you're black. You know what I'm saying? I know that someone listening to the podcast has dealt with police in a certain way because they're black. But we're all different. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like we're all like you. I think that with stereotypes and with like early 90s movies and TV came a whole lot of people just generalizing. And so now if I want to be militant and if I want to talk about certain socio-political ideals, someone might say to me, well, Martin Luther King wouldn't want that. And I'd be like, yo, fuck you and Martin Luther King in that case. We don't agree on that point. Like, cool. Like, that it's a slippery slope when it comes to, Jussie Smollett. All I can really say is that I hope that that sounds bad. I don't hope that it happened, you know what I'm saying? But I hope that there's no like backtracking with the story. I hope that it sticks the way it is. Well, I hope the truth comes out. That's what I'll say. Yeah,
and if the truth comes out in a form that I'm against, then I'm just going to have to cancel him too. Yeah,
because while this is also the age of cancellation, this is also the age of black people. I don't know what's up with like these Stacey Dash types and like you know what I'm saying, Cory Booker types trying to be out here like, what did Cory Booker say the other? I think he was talking. He was like, while he was doing some campaign trail thing, and he was like,
was this the Breakfast Club?
No, he was talking about he got a boo on Breakfast Club, but no, then he also said, I used to have a drug dealer friend back in the day. His name was T-Bone. And I was like, right, ain't no drug dealer named T-Bone out here. Like, shut up.
Him and Kamala Harris.
Oh, yeah.
Like, man.
Yeah.
Dude, no.
Kamala Harris, this shuck and drive generation is crazy. Like, I don't know why they're trying to reconnect with us.
Yeah. They're not getting it. And I'm sick and tired of, especially, like, the corporate people, black corporate people out here like supporting them. Like, no, they're not going to get it.
Yeah,
they're not going to get it.
I don't want someone like that representing me as a black man in office. No.
Yeah, they don't represent Black America. That's point blank period.
No, hell no.
So let's get into it with Monique and Steve Harvey.
Yeah.
And
I mean,
it's tough with Monique, and I just hate that we were so quick to paint her in the image of this just a mad black woman, but
that is what happens.
Yeah.
Isn't it? You know, like that is always the narrative is a black woman says, this is how I feel about something, and she says it in a way that we don't agree with.
Right.
And we label her angry or overreacting, or, oh, you ain't been on TV in years, shut up. You know what I'm saying? Or a black woman is like, I enjoy my body, my sexuality, I know who I am, and we're like, okay, well, then you a hoe. You know what I'm saying? Like, so there's no, we don't listen to black women. And as an aside, like, one thing, and really, this is where, like, I'm very, a lot of people are very divisive with me, but I love the Black Panther movie that came out. I remember watching it, and the first time that I watched it, I remember that Lupita Nyong'o's character, Nakia, was saying all the things that Killmonger was saying, that the main villain was saying. But she just wasn't on some, like, let's kill everybody about it. She was just like, you know, we should probably open the borders, try and help the world. We got medicine, we got technology that can heal the world. Cool, let's do it. You know what I'm saying? And Chadwick Boseman he didn't listen to his character, didn't really listen to her until, like, Killmonger shows up and he's like, we got to get these weapons. We're the most powerful force on the planet. Let's go and whatever, blah, blah, blah. I mean, at the same time, I don't know if Wakanda wants to go toe-to-toe with Thor and the Hulk and all of that, right. But I'm saying, like, the principle still stands. Like, she was saying all that in the beginning of the movie, albeit she was saying it in a better way, in a healthier way. And then Killmonger comes around murdering people, choking old ladies, you know what I'm saying, and like burning shit, and everyone finally is paying attention. And so I think that's really telling and almost like indicative of today's society when it comes to black women, when it comes to older black women. Like Monique, she's been in the game a while. She's definitely an OG. Right. So why are we, and I'm one of those people, I was always team Monique. I was always like, I didn't boycott Netflix, you know what I'm saying, because I don't have cable. Like, I'm a millennial. But I definitely understood, and I can admit that about myself. That was terrible on that. I had to watch my Jane the Virgin, whatever. But all she's really doing is just speaking a truth about stuff that has happened to her in the industry. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? And I think she just keeps getting muted.
At the same time, because it makes me think, it's like, okay, why not her? Yeah. But then you have, because, you know, there's a whole host of other black female actresses that are getting their fair share. Exactly. You know, Gabrielle Union, Halle Berry, freaking Regina,
Angela Bassett, all of them whooping ass right now.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the only thing that raises. It's almost like it plants a seed of doubt in my mind for that one reason. Because I just like me wanting to know everything. It's like, why them and why not you? Like, what is it that they are doing that you maybe didn't do that is getting them these opportunities or this you know, getting them paid what they want to get paid and not you.
Yeah, and I mean, I don't think we'll ever know like the ins and outs of the entertainment industry until we get there. And I mean, like, hell, I'm there and scratching the surface, and there's still things that I learn every day about what it takes. I mean, I know that $1 million deals happen in like a second, you know, so it's just, once again, it's another, and here we are at race. It's a slippery slope, and race and sexuality and gender kind of all are synonymous with, and also the way you look. I mean, I'm saying there's definitely like a Hollywood aesthetic for black women. I think you know. You got,
I can see them giving a mark on Monique for that one.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying. And I mean, don't get me wrong. Like, she's beautiful.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Is she like Angela Bassett, Gabrielle Union, Nia Long? Like, no. And I think she's even said stuff like that about herself, which is disheartening. But also, she's a realist, and she knows that they're probably not gonna listen to her. You know what I'm saying? Or some doors might not be open because of that. You know what I'm saying? She's older. You know, there's a lot of different factors. I will say, I definitely didn't agree at all with what Steve was hitting her with. That was wild.
Oh yeah, he was basically like, yo, like basically sit down and shut up, and you know, if you want to stay in this position, don't be sitting here, you know,
like,
just do what you're
told
to do.
Oh shit, Steve, what happened?
Yo.
Like, Steve was like, well, you better shuck and jive for these folks, cause we's have it good.
Oh my goodness.
We's free now.
Right.
Don't be over here making no waves.
Right. Like, bro, really?
It was disappointing.
Very.
I think it could even be more disappointing for Monique, because they definitely came up in that same generation as black entertainers.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like when we were kids, that was who we were watching on TV. It was the Steve Harvey Show.
Oh yeah, I can tell you now. I know some of the people they were rolling with, and they was all together.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Was really because I think black entertainment back then was so small.
Yeah.
Like it was a little nucleus, and it was just like you had Martin Lawrence, Will Smith. You had these people that all knew each other and all worked, and and if you read the stories about them, they all grew up together really, or came up in the industry together, and really had each other's back. So to go from like, yeah, you can sleep on my couch while you're doing your comedy shows, to I'm gonna pitch you a show to the WB or whatever, then to sit on another couch with the same person, years later, and to hear them say, I can't listen to what you're saying, I'm trying to keep my check going. He couldn't even acknowledge her. Right. You know what I'm saying? I can't imagine. Luckily, everyone who I started with, and it's a very rare thing, for the most part, everyone who I've started with has not really folded on me or hit me with anything like that.
Yeah.
So, I can't imagine what she is going through, dealing with that. That's, and I mean, I wish her the best, and I hope that things work out. I'm sure something good will come out of this. I'll say that. I'll speak that into existence. She'll get something popping because of this. You can't not make noise. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You can't make noise for so long and nothing happens.
Right.
So if she stays consistent and she keeps talking about the industry and what it's trying to do to her, then they're gonna have to, retcon and be like, okay, cool, let's just clean up that mess before she gets more people on her side.
Right.
You know. So.
And I'll tell you this, since we're talking about it, because Colin Kaepernick just settled with the NFL. I'm waiting to hear all the details about it first before I say I agree or disagree. Because apparently, at least according to the reports right now, he's getting a nice little payday for it. I'm happy for the brother, but what did you give up for it? You know what I mean? Like what? Because when we talk about a settlement, you settle for something. And a lot of times when there's a settlement, the people that, I guess the people that were the victims,
right,
oftentimes settle for less than what they initially wanted. And I hate to say, like, I support Cap and I'm all for what he's been doing, but it's like if he settled for less than what he was aiming for, I'm going to be disappointed.
Yeah, and so here we are in a digital information age where something like this might have happened years ago, but we wouldn't have heard about it just because it wasn't so accessible to us. But here where it is, do I think that his idealism has changed because of a settlement? No, not at all. I think he's still just as militant, just as for the black community and for education as he was when he was out here on his own. You know what I'm saying? That's another thing like you. I think I want to wait and see what the details are because I don't want to write off someone so quickly.
Right.
Because I'm quick to write motherfuckers off. I'm quick to be like, nah, I don't rock with that cat no more. But we would just have to see what happens. He doesn't seem like the type of person to sacrifice his integrity for a check. You know what I'm saying? Like, if Steve Harvey went through like 6 months of being like real pro-black and like fight the power, and then he made a settlement, I'll be like, oh yeah, no, it's it's a wrap. Did you hear I talked to Monique? So like, but I can't see Cap doing it, and I think he's one of the best of us. So I don't think that that's gonna, you know what I'm saying? I think he's a pillar of the black community. I think there are very few left, honestly.
I agree.
But I think he's definitely one of them. And I have no problem with canceling fan favorites and people that have been around for years if they prove to have done something bad. Because, hell, I mean, we got people in our families like that. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. There's an uncle somewhere in someone's family that was always cool when you were younger, but as you get older, you like, he's got some shit with him. I don't really rock with it. Yeah. So I just for the sake of your mental health, like don't try to mythologize these people in the industry and put them on a pedestal that they're not. Because one day you might find out they've been dropping Quaaludes in people's drinks. You know what I'm saying? Like, you know what I'm saying? And it's okay. I love the Steve Harvey Show. I don't love Steve Harvey. You know what I'm saying?
Understood.
That's kind of where I'm at with it.
It's so funny. I was telling somebody. I was actually telling on the last recording, and I said, it's great when you can be a fan of somebody's work and then you're a fan of the person. Yeah. And it sucks sometimes when you're a fan of the person's work, but then you find out like they're not the kind of person you thought they would be, and it just sometimes makes it hard to be a fan of.
Yeah, you can even go back and hear some old interviews and hear them in a different light, and that's a rough thing too, because there's definitely interviews with older artists and stuff that I used to love and would watch. Almost like I would have a morning routine. I would wake up, I would put on, like, I listen to my Kurt Cobain interviews, I listen to my Childish Gambino interviews, I listen to and an Erykah Badu interview. And an Outkast interview where they start arguing. Big Boy starts yelling at Andre 3000 about how Andre's the better rapper than Andre, and then they really get mad at each other. It's like, no, bro, you rap better, bro. And then, you find out stuff about your favorites, and it kind of makes the interview, it gets a bad taste in your mouth, because when I watch artist interviews, I'm watching it to learn from them.
Right.
I might not get the chance to meet them, or when I do, I want to be able to tell them, yo, I really love when you talked about not having a plan B. You know what I'm saying? And then to listen back to that interview after you find out that they've done some questionable shit, or after they say some off the wall shit, you'd be like, nah, it's not for me.
Right. Yeah. True. So let's go ahead and let the listeners get to know you a little bit.
Let's do it.
So you're a performing artist.
Right.
You got some stuff in the works.
Correct.
So what's going on with you? What you got going on right now?
Yeah. So last year I released a project called Be Water, which I don't even remember when it actually came out, because I had written that I had been writing the music for about a year and a half. And it switched up. It was originally like a 25-song album. I think I cut it down to like 9 songs, and I was like, I just got to put this shit out, because otherwise I'm going to be a perfectionist. It's going to be here forever. Yeah. So I put it out. I release it. It's available everywhere music is sold. It's just called Be.Water. By Eli. It's on SoundCloud, Spotify, iTunes, Apple Music. I'm on Napster. I found that out today.
Napster's still around?
Napster's still around. Actually, Napster pays me the most. So if you want to if you want to keep the kids' lights on and put food in the fridge, please download my shit from Napster. I just found that out.
Please send me a link.
Yeah, I'll drop that shit immediately. Pay me. So I put that out, and then it's really like an exploration into like R&B. My guitar playing. I've been playing guitar for about 19 years now, and I've been singing for about 10 years seriously. And before this, I was in some bands. Then I was rapping. Then I was in some bands. So I've always kind of been entrenched in music. Eli is a persona that I created that actually I keep making up meanings behind it. It doesn't have a meaning. It's just easier to say Eli when I'm in a club and the music is loud. People can't hear Eric. They call me Derek. They call me Aaron. So I was just like Eli one day, and a girl was like, "Oh, like Elijah?" And I was like, "Whatever." Whatever you want. It stuck. Yeah, so I definitely I'll be out or I'll be at work, and people will be, at work they call me Eric, but then people will come in and they'll be like, "Oh, what's up, Eli?" And they'll be looking at me crazy.
So I'm just confirming. That's how you came up with the name Eli.
That's definitely how I came up with the name Eli.
You were in the club.
I was just in a club and I couldn't get my name out fast enough. And so now I don't really care which name I go by. I'm working on new music. I have a new project coming out that's currently untitled, and is a deeper exploration into guitar playing, very much inspired by Prince, David Bowie, Whitney Houston, a lot of my favorites. So you would think contemporary 80s R&B and Chew, like Tevin Campbell type. Well, he's more like 90s, early 2000s, but so it's that. I'm also engineering and mixing and mastering, and I've gotten to work with a couple artists who are actually, I can't say names now. Yeah, damn. But when the stuff is out, you'll hear it and you'll know that they have done it. I did work with one of my favorite rappers in Charlotte and a personal friend of mine, John Monte Ogbon, King Callis.
Okay. The
greatest rapper in Charlotte, real life. And he's great. It's funny because I started off just recording him. I met him through mutual friends. I started off just recording him, and I think the other day he just hit me. He was like, "Yo, what's up?" And I was like, "Oh damn, I'm not even home." So I immediately hit him back like, "Bro, I'm not at home. I can't record right now." And he texted me back. He was like, "Bro, I was just calling to check in on you." And I was like, "Oh." I feel terrible now. But that's the homie. I love him. I've shot a couple videos that'll be dropping this year. I'm excited about that. Okay. So content and music is on the way as soon as next month. A lot of stuff is under wraps. There's some cool events and parties coming up thrown by your boy. One that I definitely can talk about is one that I'm putting together with my partner.
I'll need an invite to that.
Oh yeah, no, you'll definitely be there. You gotta be there. We need a SANE Show episode 20 by the time, you know what I'm saying? We got to do some live recordings or something. Yeah, but and I'm throwing an art show.
Okay.
Yeah, April 13th. Mm-hmm. It's called This Woman's Work. Me and my partner Raven Horns are throwing it. She's a visual artist in Charlotte. Okay. She's a painter. And she's just getting back into it, but I have some dope artists performing. It's all focused on black women all the time. It's going to be at Petra's April 13th from 8 to 11 p.m. It is $10 to get in.
Okay.
We got the Blues performing live. Dope songwriter, rapper, and artist out of Charlotte. And we have Sativa Selects, Shanice Stratford. She's going to be spinning all night. It's hosted by Mariah Scott, Peculiar Hippie. And it's going to be a motherfucking movie. So please come out to that. Support black women artists. I'll have vendors out there as well. All black women. I'll have painters out there. All black women. I'll have singers out there. All black women. It's going to be lit. I'm excited. I'm doing that. It's called This Woman's Work. And then I'm doing an all black boys art show and gallery. And I'm going to call that Black Boy Fly.
Okay.
So I want
I'm black and 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 I'm black.
Black and I'm black, y'all. So I want to, and that's, and even touching on earlier, we were talking about mental health and everything. I want to create spaces. That's what I was building up to. I want to create spaces where black folk especially can love on each other, can talk if they need to. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? About what they go through, period. We need that safe space, and I need it to be loud, and I need it to be very uncomfortable for anyone who's against that to be there. So, and I'm even doing that with my music, which once again you can find on Napster, Napster.com. It's also on Spotify and iTunes. I'm on Tidal too. Pay me, go to Napster. That's all I'm saying. Go to Napster, buy my music off Napster.
This is a reason why I said I'm glad I keep a loose layout of the show.
Shameless Napster plug.
Because I normally say that stuff till the end,
man,
but it's whatever.
We gotta.
It's whatever. You do you, all right.
Yeah,
that's why it's the SANE Show. Sometimes it's far from it, but
but Be Water was my last project, and it was very. It was a very open, honest project. Talk a lot about stuff I go through on there mentally, and talked a lot about the breakup that I had gone through. Talked about all the breakups I have been through on Be Water. I think each of my exes gets a song on it, and I think each of them hit me about the song. Like, is that about me? And I was like, They're like, okay, I know you lying because that's definitely about me because you talk about this. And I was like, okay, yeah, you got it, you right.
You wild, bro.
But overall, it was a fun project. I got to collab with really dope artists out of Charlotte. Phil's,
shout out to Phil.
Shout out to Phil's. He hit me with a couple beats on it. Yep. He hit me with a couple beats on it. He was great. And my boy Amwa Anthony Toro, he actually I ended up copping a couple of the beats for the album from him accidentally because I just kept hearing stuff and I was like, yeah, this is great. I think actually the way it happened, I hit him and I was like, what's up, man? I'm getting back into playing solo music and I'm kind of looking for some music. And I was like, just let me know what your rates are and what you got going. And he was like, yeah. I think he messaged me a day later. He was like, yeah, man, I've been going through some shit. Anyway, I'm going to just send you some beats and let me know what you think. And he just sent me some dope, like, kind of sad boy, like eclectic type artistic sounding beats. And I was like, yeah, that works. I was like, I'm gonna throw my guitar on them and add some little embellishments here and there, but they were perfect and they worked.
So I want to ask you, what are your thoughts on the current artist community in Charlotte now?
I actually, it's a myriad of thoughts. It's like just a lot of different things buzzing around in my head. I think that we're cool. I think that everybody loves on everybody. I don't really think that it's a big cliquey type environment the way that a lot of people portray it to be. I just think that there's different genres and different crowds and not everything is for everyone. There's some cats that don't know that I do music and they do music. They only know that I engineer. You know what I'm saying? Because and when they hear my music, they're like, oh wow, that's dope. I didn't know that you did this. And I'm like, yeah, I didn't think that you would be into it, but cool. Which I really got to stop doing that. I really should probably put myself out there more because I haven't heard any bad reviews yet and that makes me feel good. But I also don't want to be a burden and be that dude that's in your face like, yeah, listen to my mixtape. I think it's a cool scene. I think that overall, we, the people, are trying to create that artistic face in Charlotte. I think that the city is doing everything that it can to mute that. It's a big bank city. You know what I'm saying? It's not, we lost a lot of venues. Tremont's gone, RIP. You know what I'm saying?
What's the name is too? Amos
Amos is gone. Yeah, all of that. So, and we got the Fillmore.
But that's a corporate.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely controlled us, and I've even played there a couple times, and it's a different vibe. You know what I mean? But it's just one of those things where. But then I found some dope DIY hip hop shows out in Charlotte too. Mm-hmm. There's Frequency that's run by my boy Ja Freedom. I got to it's like a live podcast type. I got to sit down and do that. That was dope.
Word.
Yeah, I plug stuff all the time. I'm sorry. There's there's a lot of really dope shit out here. Vacation Pay is like a collective that an associate of mine started. I think he started it years ago. I actually had just found out about it, but they do this beat show and this like live music show called Repainted Tomorrow, mm-hmm. and it's at Tip Top Daily Market, and I've gone multiple times. They have like live painting, you know what I'm saying, guest DJs. They had cats come in. They had Oak City Slums come in. They had a whole lot of different people come in. And I think that it's a really dope idea and concept. And I want to see stuff like that keep going strong because there are these little creative pockets in Charlotte mm-hmm. that are still booming, like 5-10 years down the line, 20 years, you know what I'm saying? And so I want to see more of that, mm-hmm. but I also don't want to see anything else die. You know what I'm saying? Right. Like, because everything has been... Tremont was a pretty big blow because I had played Tremont right before they closed, and I think that was my first time being on stage at Tremont. So I played when they were first, booming, and then I played right when they were dying. Amos is the same way. I hit right when I first started playing music. I was playing at Amos's, and then right when they died, I hit, I think, one of the final shows there. The collective and the creative community, I mean, you can always catch something dope, whether it's Player Made, whether it's Repainted Tomorrow, whether mm-hmm. it's Sukasa, whatever, whether it's Nocturnal at Snug Harbor. Like, there's always good things happening. I want to help do everything I can to help keep those things alive. Yeah. Because the city is definitely trying to stomp them out. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, I love this community. I love my city. I leave a lot, but this is home, and it'll always be home.
Word.
So.
Word.
That was like a damn... I didn't mean to give like a presidential speech on that. Like,
nah.
Vote Eli.
That was great, man. That was great. And this was definitely a great discussion. So now go ahead and just go ahead and shout it all out in one order. If you got anything, your IG, Facebook.
Yeah, man. You can follow me on IG. That's probably where I'm most active, which is funny because I don't have anything posted right now because I'm trying to drop a lot of stuff at one time. You can follow me on IG at _Big Baby Eli _
I get a crack every time I see that come across my phone.
Yeah. Yeah, you can. I'm on Facebook as Eli. I have an Eli page. You can follow me on Spotify, iTunes, Twitter, whatever. All of it is Big Baby Eli. I have music available. Be Water is available everywhere music is sold digitally, and there are hard copies on the way. Yeah. And then I have new music that's going to be dropping 2019. So after you listen to Be Water, just throw it in the trash and get ready for new stuff. And make sure to come out to This Woman's Work, which is happening April 13th at Petra's.
Word. So yeah, be sure to check them out, especially download on Napster. That's where the checks is.
Please download on Napster.
Napster. And for those of you that haven't done so, I don't know why, and you're listening, be sure to follow the SANE Show.
Got to.
Yeah. And definitely, hit us in the inbox, hit us in the DMs, comments, whatever.
Slide up in them DMs.
I want to know. I like to know who my listeners are. Make yourself known, please. SANE Show. You can follow us on Instagram, SANE _show, SANE _show. Also SANE _show on Twitter, The SANE Show on Facebook. All right, get ready because this is where you can find us. You can find us on Spotify, iTunes, Apple Podcasts, Podbean, Overcast, Pocket Cast. You can also find us on Stitcher Podcast, TuneIn app, and and Google Play Music. So that's where you can find the SANE Show episodes 1 through 14 are now streaming. This is episode 15. Appreciate you coming by again, bro.
Appreciate you, bro. Thanks for having me.
Oh,
I'm
yeah,
subscribed,
always.
so I'm about to go and listen all the way back.
And everybody else, click that. Make sure you click that subscribe button. Make sure you share this with everybody else as well. Again, thank you all for listening. Shout out to everybody in the States, in Canada, in the UK, in Belgium, and everybody else across the world that it's not showing up on our listener map. So yeah, thank you all again for listening. And with that being said, this is the SANE Show, episode 15, and we're